I'm gonna walk through the exact steps that I'll use to get myself in better fucking nick. For any of you out there that don't understand Irish slang, basically means better shape. I'll overlay it on the screen here, but like at the moment, I'm not very unhappy with how I look. I just know that I don't have my standards very high to what I actually can achieve. As cringy as it sounds, I want to take my physique to the next level. Oh Jesus, I can't believe I said that. I basically want to have a clear, noticeable difference of me having more muscle and less body fat. I've been a qualified coach for 5 years now at this point, and I've worked with over 300 people online, helping them get in better shape. There's been plenty of times behind the camera where I've helped myself get in better shape, and I've worked with coaches as well to hold me accountable, but I've never really properly documented the journey of my attempt at making a serious change. I'm going to walk you through the workouts that I'll be doing, the supplements that I'll be taking, my food diary on MyFitnessPal. I'll be transparent about that stuff because boy oh boy, it's not going to be perfect at all. And I'll also teach you about how you can apply this information and use it for your own transformation yourself, because let's face it, if you just copy what I do exactly, which you will be able to do because I'll walk you through all of it, you probably wouldn't get the best results for yourself, and it might not even be realistic or sustainable because you're a different person with different habits, different lifestyle, different genetics. So it's never intended for people to copy, it's intended to teach you how to do your own shit. Maybe it's just me and I don't watch enough YouTube videos on this, but I've never seen this done in a way that I thought was very helpful to the general population before. Helpful to bodybuilders and athletes, sure. Entertaining to watch because it's pushed to the extremes, absolutely. I won't lie to you, I'm a bog standard person looking to make an above average change in my physique. I know exactly how to do it. I've done it before. I want to take it to a point that's maybe a little bit past what I've achieved before, and I think it'll be helpful for me to document it because it's not going to be a situation where I'm eating chicken, broccoli and rice all the time. I'll still be consuming alcohol, and I'll show you, despite all that, despite me not being perfect, how I can still create that change and have momentum with my progress. So take this as like episode 1 basically, and then I'll try and make one of these every week to update you with how I'm getting on. Here's my starting point. I'll put it on the screen. So what I'm gonna do first, in simple terms, is attempt to lose maybe 5 kilos worth of weight, maybe 8 kilos max. I want as much of this as possible to come from body fat, and then once I've done that, I'm gonna follow that up with a phase where I prioritize building muscle, and I'll be gaining weight to do that. The reason I'm not doing both of these at the same time is that you can't optimize for both of them at the same time. And out of laziness, I've tried doing both of them at the same time before, but I was never really happy with the result. And if you want to make a real change, you're better off just focusing on one at a time. So the main measurements that I'll be tracking, because like, let's face it, if I'm not tracking the measurements, it's going to be boring as shit for you to watch. There's no proof whether or not anything is changing, but also I need a way to verify that the stuff I'm doing is actually working. I'll be weighing myself on the scales every single day and getting the averages of those weigh-ins. And I basically just want to make sure that my weight is going down every 2 weeks on average. And the aim for me is going to be to lose roughly 2 kilos a month, which means if I want to lose 5 kilos, we're looking at like 2.5 months there to achieve that. I'm also going to be taking progress pictures every week, so I'll like update the changes in these videos so you can see them for yourself. And that's it for now. I might bring waist circumference measurements into it down the line. What I like to do when I'm working towards this is give myself a habit set so I have clarity on the shit that I need to do every day and every week, because otherwise I get distracted and I just try and make the right decisions and I don't build enough momentum. I don't do enough to actually push the change. So what I'm going to do now is actually share my laptop screen and run you through my habit set in more detail so you can learn from it and copy it if you like. Basically, this is my plan of action put onto a spreadsheet here. So typically, like, we would do this for other people, like that's my job, that's the business I run, but now you're going to see me do this for myself and you'll be able to follow along yourself. And I mean, you could make a similar spreadsheet yourself if you wanted to. I've said yourself way too many times. Basically what you're looking at here is a tracker for my weight. I'll move my fat head here. A tracker for my weight over the next 10 weeks, which is the approximate amount of time it will take for me to reach my minimum goal of losing 5 kilos. If I decide at 5 kilos, fuck it, this is going fine, I actually want to go up and lose 8 kilos, then I'll extend that and I might need maybe another month. The plan after that, you can see phase 2 is to add on 5 kilos of muscle, which should take a bit longer than it takes to lose 5 kilos. Otherwise, I'll just be gaining unnecessary fat. So I'm looking forward to bring you guys through that with me as well, so you can see how it's done. So I'm already a couple of days in by the time I decided to start this series. I'm going to weigh myself every day, put it in here, kind of ignore the weight. Don't care if it goes up, don't care if it goes down. You can see here the Monday was 78.4, so I'm down from there. On Wednesday it was 77.4, but I'm up again at 77.8. I'm not going to cry about it. It's part of the process. I could have just moved a bit less, add a bit more salt. There's so many things that would have increased the water weight. And basically what I'm going to be looking at, see the average down here at the bottom? My absolute genius of a brain could figure out how to do averages on this. I'm basically not going to be comparing the averages week to week, but I'll be comparing the averages every second week. So I want to see a change every second week. So if I see two averages the same week 1 and week 2, that's okay. But if I see them the same 3 weeks in a row, something needs to change. I need to cop on with my food, my exercise, or the calorie goal I'm working off is wrong. So I'm going to bring you over to that now so you can see what my habit set is that I talked about earlier. I'll try and zoom in a bit here too so you can see better. Okay, so here is my current habit set. Basically, the plan of action is to try and spend as much time as possible in Tier 1. If you don't know what this is a safety net system we build out with our clients to teach them how to approach improving their body composition, losing fat, fitting into their old clothes again in a way that's more sustainable and that gives room for other aspects of your life. It helps you eliminate the all or nothing mentality and actually maintain the results after you lose it. So naturally, I'm going to use the same thing for myself because I also want to try and maintain these results as best I can. All right. So to do that, I want to get a bit of a kickstart with this. So most of my time will be spent in Tier 1. I'm going to be consuming 2,000 to 2,200 calories a day. 7.5k steps as my starting goal. I might increase that to 10k if nothing's happening, but weight seems to actually be moving at the moment. So, I'm a lazy bastard. I don't need to do anything. Like, it's fucking hot here in Dubai, 32 degrees. I don't care about getting 10k steps unless I need to, If it was nice, cool breeze, like walking around a lovely lake, I probably wouldn't really have to try too hard, but it is a bit of a chore. 130 grams of protein a day, which is lowballing it a bit, but it's just based on the fact I currently have no whey protein, and protein's pretty expensive to get here. I'm not rolling in it yet by any means. Got myself a decent apartment, but everything else is literally budget mode, basically. If the apartment is like essential IC for work, everything else kind of comes second. So getting above and beyond that protein is going to be quite difficult, and I refuse to do it just through eating fucking lots of tuna, which I'm aware is an option. So I'm happy with 130, knowing it's maybe slightly under what I could consider optimal. Tier 2 then is when Tier 2 is really going to be good for if I decide, look, I just want to have a day where maybe go on a date night with Tegan and do a bit more, but I don't want to completely screw over my progress. I'll most likely see the weight just sky up after that. But I have a hard limit on it here of I'm still going to track when I do that as best as I can. I'll bring you with me and show you how I estimate things in restaurants. 2,800 calories a day is the ideal maximum for Tier 2. Over that, honestly, I think I'm just taking the piss, like a good calorie bank. 5k steps a day. Again, if it's like 40 degrees out, which is a possibility here, I think 5k is very reasonable. I might have to work on getting the rest in the gym. And then 100 grams of protein. Which is more ideal if I'm rushing around. It basically means I'm missing 30 grams there I should have had, so it's given me scope to have a bit more flexibility on those days. Tier 2 probably isn't going to be enough for me to make progress, but it will stop me throwing in the towel, so I'll use it when I need to. And then Tier 3, the plan with this is it's like non-negotiables, so I'm not allowed to press the fucking button. It's not happening. At no point am I just going to be like, you know what, I'm going to have as much fucking gin and tonics as possible. Gin and tonics, I don't really go for them. As much cider as possible, or as much white wine as possible. I'm an absolute bollocks for the white wine, or sangria if it's available. I'm not going to do that. I refuse. There's going to be like a limit there, and Tier 3 is so that I still get to tick the boxes, and I still have some part of my brain that's focused on the fact that I want to maintain this change. So 3 meals a day, having some sort of structure, exception if I'm like on a long haul flight, which I don't plan on being for a while. 10 minutes of exercise minimum. It's a low fence to jump over, so that when I start, a lot of the times I ideally do 20 minutes or more. And protein in each meal, ideally 25 grams there at a minimum.
My God, I'm really sunburned here on my face. I look like I've ran through about 10 bushes to put some moisturizer on after. So that's the plan of action. That's what I'm going to be doing. Unless you're like the exact same person as me, I don't recommend copying it. But if this is something you want to learn how to set up for yourself, I invite you to join our Self-Esteem U-Turn school group, and you can learn how to set up a couple of these things. You'll even be able to book in a nutrition consult with Tegan. We're letting new members do that now, at least at the time of recording this. If you're watching this in a few months, maybe not. So back to the rest of the video.
Next week, I'm going to share with you my progress update so you can see how we're getting on. I'll show you exactly what I'm eating, I'll record footage of myself, and I'll probably even try and include like the odd day of eating out to show you how I balance that as well. I'm going to share with you footage of me training in the gym. I'll show you the exact workouts that I've built for myself that I'm going to be using so you can actually use them workouts for yourself. I think that's it. I mean, like, what else do you want to see? Just put it put it in the comments if you want to see something else. That's probably the easiest thing I can ask, because I don't want to just be filling the video with random shite that you actually don't care about. I'll see you in the next one. That's such a shit way to sign off on YouTube videos. I need to change it to something else. All right, slán. That's goodbye in Irish. I haven't used that word in a while.